Good day, grade 8 students. Welcome to the third quarter of your modular distance learning here in Mathematics 8. For this quarter, we'll be focusing on reasoning. So, the weeks 1 and 2 of this quarter will be focusing on writing proofs in mathematical system. So, let's start. Before going deeply with the topic, let's just first take a look at these questions. So the first one, do you think it is possible to make a valid conclusion without even going through the process of investigation? Number 2, what would you do if you were asked to make a decision that will affect many people? So these questions goes within the idea of reasoning, because many aspects in our life involves decisions. Now, let's go with reasoning. So reasoning is the process of drawing conclusions or inference from facts or premises. There are two kinds of reasoning, the inductive and deductive. Go first with inductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning is a kind of reasoning based on repeated observations, and it is characterized by drawing conclusion called conjecture from observations of specific examples. Okay, so dito magre-reason out ka lamang base sa iyong mga naobserbahan, base sa mga repeated observations na iyong nakikita. But it must be noted, okay, that conjectures may or may not be true. Saan nga ba natin nagagamit ang inductive reasoning? So, halimbawa, ito ang halimbawa. Ito ay makikita natin sa mga entrance exams na ating ginagawa at saka minsan sa mga achievement test. Look carefully at the figures. What is next? Okay? So, i-observe lang natin yung tatlong figure. After nating ma-observe, ano kaya ang susunod? So, o-obserbahan lamang natin dito ay syempre yung naka-shade. So, una, top left. Sunod, top right. And then sunod, bottom right. Saan kaya ang sunod? So, looking at this pattern, okay? So, ganun ang inductive reasoning. May pattern. So, looking at this pattern, we can therefore conclude that the next figure would be, yes, nasa bottom right naman ang ating shade. Okay? Let's have another example. So, we have, my mathematics teacher is kind. My previous mathematics teacher was kind. My sister's mathematics teacher is kind too. And my sister's previous mathematics teacher was also kind. Now, looking at these statements, what can you say about mathematics teachers? So, basically, we can only say, based on this, without any researches, we can say that all mathematics teachers are kind. And that is based on your repeated observation. Okay? So, yun yung nakita natin dito sa statement. Yun yung pinahihiwatig ng mga statements. Now, let's go with the second example or the second type of reasoning, which is deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning is a kind of reasoning that uses facts or properties. It is characterized by applying general principles to specific examples to show that a conclusion is true. Okay? So, this time, naiba na siya. Ngayon, hindi na tayo nagre-rely lamang sa observations. This time, we focuses on the facts or properties. Let's have an example. Yes. Okay, so we have here two columns with the statements on the left and the conclusion on the right. So we are going to find the conclusion for these examples. Number 1, Filipinos are hospitable. Bonifacio is a Filipino. Based on this, what can we say? Bonifacio is hospitable. Next, if points are collinear, then they lie on the same plane. Points are M and N are collinear. Okay? So we can say, therefore, points R and N lie on the same plane. Okay? So na-conclude natin to because of the property that was first stated. If points are collinear, then they lie on the same plane. That is a postulate that is accepted to be true in geometry. Then next, number 3. Another. A quadrilateral is a polygon with 4 sides. Okay, that's a fact. A quadrilateral is a polygon with 4 sides. And then a parallelogram is a quadrilateral. That's also a fact. Based on these facts, what can we conclude? Yeah, we can conclude that parallelogram has 4 sides. Always remember, in inductive reasoning, we use observations. In deductive reasoning, we use facts. Okay? Okay, so one of the tools used in proving reasoning or improving is reasoning. Okay? Specifically the deductive one because we use facts. Okay, so tanong doon sa yung sagot doon sa mga kaninang katanungan kung paano daw tayo magdedesisyon kung wala naman tayong gaanong investigasyon na ginawa, ay po pwede na tayong gumamit ng deductive reasoning wherein we are using facts and properties. Again, deductive reasoning is a type of logical reasoning that uses accepted facts to reason in a step-by-step manner until we arrive at the desired statement. So, dito sa deductive reasoning, aside from using facts or properties, we also do reasoning step by step. Now, let's go with proof. Okay, so a proof is a logical argument in which each statement is supported or justified by a given information, definitions, axioms, postulates, undefined terms, theorems, and previously proven statements. Okay? So, proof, okay, ang proof ay isang way of logical argument. It is a way of reasoning out, okay, based on facts because the statements are supported and justified by given information, definitions, okay, and accepted facts in geometry, algebra, and other branches of mathematics. Ganun po mag-proving sa math. Gagamit ka ng deductive reasoning. Pag gumamit ka ng deductive reasoning, you use facts. Okay? At kapag gumamit ka ng deductive reasoning in proving, meaning you are proving by step. Okay? So, proofs can be written in paragraph form, 2-column form, or flowchart form. So, usually in mathematics, we use paragraph form and 2-column form. Now, before going deeply with writing proofs, okay, let's go first with the mathematical system or the terms to remember in geometry. So we have first, or in mathematics in general. So we have first one, axiom. Axiom is an assumption accepted to be true or accepted as true even without a proof. Next, postulate is a statement that describes a fundamental relationship between the basic terms of geometry. It is accepted as true even without a proof. Okay? So, kung papapansin natin, halos parehas sila. But, they differ on which branch they are being used. So, in algebra, assumptions are called axioms. In geometry, assumptions are called postulates. So, saan ginagamit ang axioms? Sa algebra. Ang postulates ginagamit sa geometry. Another term is the undefined term or the undefined terms. Okay? So, these terms have no exact or formal definitions, but they are only described, okay, using simpler known terms. So, in geometry, meron tayong tatlong terms or undefined terms. We have the point, the line and plane. Mamaya, i-describe natin sila. Again, i-describe, hindi i-define kasi they are undefined. But they can be described in geometry. Okay? So, a theorem naman is a statement accepted after it is proved deductively. O ang postulate at axiom, even without a proof, they are accepted as true. A theorem is only accepted after it is proved deductively. Now, let's go deeper on the undefined term. So, we have point. Okay? Point denotes a position. Okay? In space and has no dimension. So, ulitin natin, ito ay hindi nade-define. Sila ay nade-describe lamang. So, when represented by a dot, it is named by a capital letter. Okay? So, always remember that. So, let's have an example. So, let's say, for example, this is... let's say, for example, that's a perfect point. So, that is point A. So, point A. It can only be represented by a capital letter. Next, line. Line is infinitely long. That is, it extends on both directions without end. Again, it extends. So, let's have an example. This line. So, let's say, for example, let's pretend that is a perfect line. So, line A, B. Okay? So, that is line AB. It extends, okay? It extends on both sides. Okay? Always remember, it extends on both sides. Okay, let's go with the plane. A plane is a flat surface. Like, for example, the laptop that you are watching or that you're watching right now. So, it extends infinitely in all directions. So, hindi siya definite. Siya ay infinite. So, pag sinabi nating plane, let's say, for example, ito, siya ay nag-extend on every direction. Okay? Ganun po ang plane. Okay, so sa lahat yon. Ayan. It extends on in all direction. Okay. Okay, so now let's go with the defined terms. Okay, so defined terms are being defined after describing the undefined terms. So, meron tayong iba't ibang klase ng defined terms or iba't ibang terms that are defined in geometry based on the undefined terms. We have first the collinear points. Collinear points are points on the same line. Okay? Pag nasa isang line lamang yung mga points, they are collinear. Now, non-collinear points are points not on the same line. Kabaliktaran lang siya. So, kapag yung dalawang points o yung tatlong points ay hindi magkakasama sa isang linya, they are non-collinear. Next, we have coplanar points. So, coplanar points are points on the same plane. Okay? So, para lang din siyang collinear, but this time, coplanar naman, nasa plane. Okay? On the same plane, pare-parehas na nandun yung points, therefore, they are coplanar. At kapag sila naman ay hindi nasa isang plane, they are non-coplanar points. Okay, another defined terms. We have segment. A segment is a part of a line. Always remember that. Segment is a part of a line consisting of 2 points and all points between them. Okay? So, kanina, sabi natin, ang line ay indefinite. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, hindi siya natatapos. Infinite. Infinite yung line. Now, ang segment, ganito lang siya. May endpoint siya. Okay? Endpoint 1 and point 2. Let's say, for example, this is point C and this is point D. Okay? This is segment CD, not line CD. Kung line siya, dapat meron siyang arrow dito sa C at sa D. Since wala, may endpoint siya, segment lang siya. Ano naman yung ray? Ray is a part of a line that starts at an endpoint. Okay? and extends infinitely in one direction. Let's say, for example, this one. So, ngayon, kung mapapansin nyo, iisa na lang ang endpoint niya. Doon na lang sa C. But doon sa D, nagkaroon ng arrow. Meaning, nag-extend siya sa D, papunta pa doon sa kanan. Meaning, this is a ray. One endpoint, one infinite that extends in one direction. So, ray. So, using the defined terms and undefined terms, let's do this example. So, I have here the figure. Yes, this figure. Now, let's name, okay, this five defined terms. So, we have 3 collinear points. So, name 3 collinear points. So, ibig sabihin, collinear, dapat nasa isang linya. Okay, so hanap tayo dito ng linya na may 3 points. Ito yon, yung cruise. So we have point H, point G, point I. So they are collinear. Pwede rin yung point C, point G, point X. They are collinear. Okay? So 3 kasing points ang hinahanap. So yun. So point B and point D are also collinear. But it does not satisfy statement number 1 kasi ang sinahanap dito ay 3 points. Next, 2 non-collinear points. Okay? Sabi dito, 2 point na hindi collinear. Napakarami niyan. So, we have point A and point B. Yung point A wala sa linya. Yung point B nasa linya, pero hindi sila magkasama ng A. Point B and point G, they are non-collinear because they do not lie on the same line. Basic. 2 lang ang hinahanap, kaya sila. Next, number 3, 4 coplanar points. So, we have the coplanar points, meaning nasa isang plane. So, 4 na points. So, meron tayong B, D, F, E. Yun, pwede natin yung gamitin. Okay? Next, 3 non-coplanar points. Okay? So, we have non-coplanar naman na 3 points. So, point A, point B, point G. Okay? Pwede rin point D, point E, point J. Okay? 3 points, pero hindi sila nasa isang linya. Next ay, ayan, 3 rays daw. That's name 3 rays. So, we have ray HG, pwede rin ray GI, ray GC. 1 endpoint, 1 that extends infinitely in one direction. Now, in writing proofs in geometry, the properties of congruence are used as basis for reasoning. Now, there are different properties. There are various properties of congruence in geometry. But let's just focus on these 3 because they are the most commonly used properties of congruence in proving. Number 1 is the reflexive property. Any segment or angle is congruent to itself. That's basic. Segment AB is congruent to segment AB. Example. Okay, let's take a look at this figure. We have triangle RE and triangle REV. Okay, so we also have triangle REN and triangle RVN. Now, we can say that Rn is congruent to Rn by reflexive property because, as you look, they are congruent because they are used twice by the 2 triangles. What are the 2 triangles? REN and RVN. Okay? So, itong line na ito ay ginamit ng 2 beses. Pag pinaghiwalay mo yan, okay, makikita mo na si Rn ay nagamit ng 2 beses. Pag pinagdikit mo siya ay parehas lamang by reflexive property. Is the symmetric property. If an angle or segment, call it figure A, okay, is congruent or equal to another segment or angle, which is the figure B, then figure B is also congruent or equal to figure A. Symmetric lang. So let's say for example, if angle A is congruent to angle B, then basically angle B is congruent to angle A. Example, Let's have this figure again. So if angle E, is congruent to angle V, therefore angle V is congruent to angle E. Basic. Symmetry. Okay, pag tiniklop mo kasi yan, yes, they are congruent. The third property is the transitive property. If two angles or segments are congruent to the same angle or segment, then they are congruent to each other. Dito may middleman. For example, if angle A is congruent to angle B, then angle B is congruent to angle C, then angle A is congruent to angle C. Paano naging congruent yon? Because of the middleman, B. Okay, transitive property yan kapag may middleman. Example, let's have this triangle PAS. We have two triangles, PAT and SAT. Okay, we can say that angle P is congruent to angle A, and angle A is congruent to angle S. Therefore, we can conclude that angle P and angle S are also congruent. What's the middleman kung tawagin? A. Okay, yung middleman ay layman's term lang yan. Now, let's go with your learning task for this weeks. Okay, weeks 1 and 2. Let's have task number 1. Task number 1, read and analyze the following. Write your answer on the space provided. Saan isusulat ang kasagutan? Sa space na nandyan, hindi sa isang papel. Diyan na rin po mismo. Okay? So, kung mapapansin niyo sa inyong answer sheet, may nakalagay sa gitna, cut at this line. So, pipilasin niyo yung sa part na yon at yung task ay ipapasa nyo at yung nasa taas ay inyong ikikip. Okay? So, let's have the property. Okay, so let's have letter A. Name the property illustrated below. Ito ay manggagaling sa mga properties na diniscuss ko. Segment AJ is congruent to segment AJ. Bakit? Anong property ang ginamit dyan? Ganon din sa 2 at sa 3. Letter B. Now, properties of congruence pa rin ito. Use the given property to complete each statement. Okay, so base sa mga diniscuss kong properties of congruence, ano kaya ang pwede nating masabi dito? So we have, kung gagamitin natin ang reflexive property of congruence, angle MAT is congruent to what? Okay? Dito naman sa transitive property. If RM is congruent to OP and OP is congruent to XT, then we can say, ganun lang din sa 5. Okay? And last, for task number 1 is letter C. Identify the terms being defined or described below. Identification lang ito or pwedeng description lamang. Okay? Saan isusulat ang sagot? Sa blanks. Now, here's the surprise. Okay? So, this is task number 2. So, pwede ninyong i-screenshot ang part na ito kung medyo, ayun, kukulangin tayo sa load. Okay? So, screenshot na lang. So, read and analyze the following. Listen. Copy and answer the following task on a piece of paper. So, yung kanina, doon na sa mismong answer sheet magsasagot. Dito naman, sa papel magsasagot at copy and answer. Okay, ang gagamitin naman natin dito ay yung conclusion or yung writing proofs natin using inductive and deductive reasoning. Now, sabi dito, letter A, draw a conclusion from each given situation and identify the kind of reasoning used. So, ganun lang. So, base lamang sa mga makikita ninyo at mababasa ninyo, find the conclusion. And then, after finding the conclusion, what kind of reasoning did you use? Okay? So, next. Yes, for letter B, kagaya lang ng ginawa natin sa defined terms kanina. Example, so bibigay mo lang base sa figures na ito, okay? Copy and answer, ulitin ko lamang, kokopyahin mo rin ang figure na ito at ito. Now, base sa figure na to, name 3 collinear points. Name 2 non-collinear points. Ganun lang siya. Okay, hanggang sa number 5. So, saan isusulat? Sa piece of paper. Date of submission, kailan ipapasa? Okay, matagal-tagal pa. Ipapasa ito sa April 5, 2021. Okay, ngayong taon din yon, hindi next year. Okay, so you will pass it next week. And that's it. Thank you so much, grade 8. Do not forget to write your reflection on the comment section below for additional points. Again, thank you for watching this video lesson. I hope you learned something and you have enjoyed mathematics. Again, I'm Sir Arjel Landicho saying, enjoy mathematics. Goodbye.